the #1 beauty in the school has actually become my love rival. And the person she wants to compete for happens to be Cynthia, whom I just successfully wooed. I just said hello to her. I was immediately labeled as a top scumbag by her. Just as I couldn't bear it anymore, and didn't need to bear it any longer. The system sent me a reminder. Successfully bound school beauty Betty as the target for conquest. Simp action officially begins. Betty lives up to her name as a frosty beauty. She has consecutively topped the school beauty ranking for 4 years. She is also the president of the student council. However, facing such a stunning beauty with exceptional looks, none of the male students in the school dare to have any thoughts about her. This is because her most famous trait is not her extremely high appearance, but her extreme hostility towards all male students. Even if someone dares to look at her a bit longer, it will lead to an explosion. Therefore, there is a rumor circulating in the school that this top-ranked school beauty might be the legendary Ice-Cold Ice Queen. She and the vice president Cynthia both have exceptionally high looks. This has caused many students to ship the two of them as a couple. And the reason for all of this can be traced back to that incident. From Betty's roommate, we learned that Betty was kidnapped by criminals when she was young. Although the police officers arrived in time to rescue her without any harm done to Betty. But this planted an indelible shadow in her heart, leading Betty to abhor all men from then on. Any man who dares to glance at her will face her harsh rebuke. Cynthia, with her arms around me, coquettishly asked, "Do you think Betty is pretty, or am I the pretty one?" Immediately triggering my player mode, I pinched Cynthia's chin and gently said, "Of all the water in the world, I only want a bowlful from you. You are the most beautiful in my heart." After all, someone as domineering as Betty is not someone a sane person would like. I, for one, can't wait to get as far away from her as possible. What I want to do is just be a simp, not a dead dog. I didn't have much time to think. Cynthia, however, had a cheerful face. She waved towards Betty not far away. "You're late again, oh." Upon hearing this, I directly exploded. "Are you afraid I won't die early enough?" And the Betty across from me just said with a cold look, "Sorry, Cynthia. There was a little traffic on the way." At that moment, Cynthia pulled me in front of her to introduce me. "This is Charles from the literature department." By now, I was already sweating profusely. It's like inviting trouble by being afraid of it. But I still forced myself to stay calm and said, "I've heard your name before. It's an honor to meet you." Upon hearing this, Betty sneered. "You played that piece just now, didn't you? I've heard that you've become quite famous at school recently, attracting attention from all sides and maintaining ambiguous relationships with many girls. People like you, with talent but no virtue, are nothing but rubbish, even if you can play the piano well." Upon hearing these words, I was immediately furious. This woman is probably seriously ill. How could she be so derogatory right from the start? Although what she said is not entirely wrong. The system suddenly prompts. The simp operation is officially launched. Successfully bind Betty as the target to conquer. After conquering her, you can get 35 enhancement points and the combat skill proficiency. Seeing this situation, I immediately smashed the system panel to the ground. This damn system can go to hell. Either it binds me to Teresa, who's like an old auntie, or it binds me to Betty, who's like a ruthless nun. Is it trying to make my life miserable? And I only said one sentence to her. This affinity is at -80. What's the point of conquering her? Then I glanced at Betty's unparalleled beauty. Am I really a dirty old man? No way. This is absolutely impossible. The lustful one must be the system. It's obviously the first time I've met the school belle. But she came up and persuaded my girlfriend to break up with me. She even wants to transfer her position as the student council president to her. Upon hearing this, Cynthia looked extremely surprised. Is it true that the senior sister is indeed a lesbian as rumored? She has had her eye on me for a long time. It turns out it was just now, with the arrival of senior sister Betty. Cynthia's birthday party gradually came to an end. Watching as the sky grows darker and darker, I slowly pushed out a 2.5-layer cake amidst my classmates' birthday song. Seeing this scene, Cynthia immediately closed her eyes and made a wish upon the cake. As she finished making her wish, her classmates all clapped and offered their blessings. I helped to cut and distribute the cake to everyone. Just as Cynthia was handing out cake to her classmates, Betty slowly approached her from behind. "Can Cynthia spare some time to go out with me? I have something important to tell you." Cynthia looked puzzled at the words. Does the senior sister have something important to say? Soon the two of them arrived at the balcony of the villa. At this moment, Betty didn't hesitate to speak directly. "I know you have a very good relationship with Charles, but I still feel that you should keep some distance from him. Charles is definitely a total scumbag. From what I know, he's at least ambiguous with 3 or 4 girls. I don't want you to get caught up in the emotional whirlpool of this scumbag. And I'm about to graduate soon. I intend to hand over the position of student council president to you." Hearing this, Cynthia covered her mouth in surprise. The senior sister is actually willing to pass on the position of the student council president to me. You should know that she and the senior sister are the president and vice president of the student council. They often clash on many issues and are like water and fire. But now, because they are about to graduate, the senior sister wants her to take over the president position. She refuses to believe it, as if it were unbelievable. With Cynthia's analysis, she has come to a final conclusion. That is, the senior sister is indeed rumored to be a lesbian and has long had her eye on her. Cynthia hurriedly waved her hand to refuse. "Thank you for your kindness, senior sister. I have always respected you as a senior. As for the position of the student union president, I am not yet capable of handling it with my current abilities. Besides, Charles is not as you understand him, senior sister." Before Cynthia could finish speaking, Betty took a quick step forward to her. "Love can truly make people blind. Look at yourself now. Where is the slightest bit of your usual grace and poise? You look nothing like the strict and serious student council member you used to be." I thought these words would make Cynthia realize something, but unexpectedly she shyly said, "Senior, I've actually wanted to resign from the student council position. This way, I'll have more time to spend with Charles." Upon hearing this, Betty immediately became angry and said, "How can you be so confused? How can you give up your sense of responsibility and ambition just because of a scumbag?" Her affinity towards me also dropped rapidly. And there I was, sitting in the hall eating cake. After sensing all this, I nearly choked. "Big sister, what did I do to offend you again? Eating a cake, and you deducted 10 points of my affinity." As Cynthia refused to take on the position of student council president, her conversation with Betty ended on a sour note. The birthday party ended soon after. Cynthia said goodbye to her classmates one by one. She stopped me as I was about to leave. She blushed and said, "Charles, could you stay tonight?" The campus bell was shivering while waiting for the bus, but I drove off in my Ferrari, leaving her behind. After all, just a second ago she labeled me as a scumbag. I wouldn't feel the slightest bit sorry even if this kind of temperamental goddess froze to death. But I had just walked not far when I found the school beauty surrounded by a few thugs. As the birthday party came to an end, classmates bid farewell to Cynthia and left one after another. As I stood up to get ready to go back to school, I was called by Cynthia from behind. I thought she would ask me to stay overnight. To my surprise, she blushed and asked me to go watch a movie with her tomorrow night. I guess I was overthinking it. But all thanks to this birthday party, I successfully won Cynthia over. I could say I have hit the jackpot. A shrill and tragic scream came from behind me. I saw the campus heartthrob squatting next to his sports car, crying out, "I can't even compete with a poor loser. What's the point of me practicing the piano?" I saw him and my mouth twitched. Isn't that Senior Timothy? Why hasn't he left yet? I thought I ran into a ghost in the middle of the night. I immediately jumped into the car to give Timothy a surprise. Hello, Timothy. Upon hearing this, Timothy was so scared that he stepped back 2.5 meters. How did you get here? I comforted him. Wasn't it because someone heard crying here? Timothy just lost a piano game. There's no need to take it to heart. But a faint, imperceptible smile appeared on my lips. After all, you lost to the system. Little did I know that Timothy happened to witness this scene. Charles, what do you mean? He asked. Are you making fun of me? Upon hearing this, I immediately jumped out of the car. Timothy, you are too sensitive, I said. I didn't mean to look down on you. I just ate too much cake last night and feel a bit bloated. Timothy's face darkened instantly. I admit your piano skills are better than mine. So what? He retorted. It's not your turn to pity me. He then proudly displayed his various designer brands. With my family background and wealth status, poor people like you can never catch up to me, even if you drive a rocket. He then took out the key to his Ferrari 488. Charles, I don't think you've ever driven such a nice car. Do you want me to be generous and give you a ride back to school? But I was too lazy to continue to bother with him. I turned around and opened the door of my Ferrari LaFerrari. Timothy, who saw the scene, was so excited that he crushed the car keys. As a top second-generation rich person, he naturally recognized that this was a global limited edition Ferrari sports car. Then he lay on the ground and let out a heart-wrenching scream. Driving a Ferrari but dressed in clothes from a street stall. It's really like the heavens are blind. Meanwhile, as I sat in the car, I was contemplating what movie to watch with Cynthia tomorrow. A figure suddenly appeared ahead on the road. Isn't that Betty? Could it be that she is waiting for a ride alone? These days the temperature difference between day and night is significant. She's wearing so little, she'll definitely catch a cold if she continues like this. I immediately stepped on the gas pedal and accelerated to 250. With a swoosh, I flew past her. She deserves to freeze to death, this kind of goddess. If you have the guts, decrease my affinity by another 5 points. But I had only just rushed out about 2.5 meters. The scene in the rearview mirror surprised me. I saw several hooligans surrounding Betty. The school beauty was surrounded and bullied by 300 big guys. The leader, bald man, was drooling with desire for the school beauty. What is even more unexpected is that the school beauty is actually a fighting champion. She easily dealt with the bald man with just a kick. It turns out, it was just happened. I was about to go home after attending a birthday party when I saw the school beauty being harassed by a group of troublemakers. Such a good opportunity, so I went over immediately to watch the show. At this moment, several troublemakers surrounded Betty. She's all alone. It's so dangerous late at night. Do you want us brothers to escort you home? The bald man who was in charge said, and pulled Betty into his arms. A free bodyguard, oh. But well, you have to play some games with us. Seeing this, Betty immediately pushed away the bald man's roving hands. What exactly are you trying to do in broad daylight? If you keep doing this, I will call the police. Upon hearing this, the group of hoodlums burst into laughter. It's pitch black and windy tonight. Even if you scream your lungs out, no one will come to save you. The bald man revealed an even more sinister smile. This little girl has quite the fiery temperament. But the next second, the expression of the bald man instantly contorted. He then let out a piercing scream like a pig being slaughtered. It turns out that Betty's move, the breaking family legacy leg strike, hit the bald man's critical spot squarely. The onlookers were all stunned by this scene. How are you? Are you okay? Upon hearing this, bald man gritted his teeth and roared in anger. Quickly tie that stinky woman up for me. Upon hearing this, Betty immediately pulled her feet back. Then she ran wildly towards the front of the road. And under the order of the bald man, all the henchmen chased after Betty. Watching a group of hooligans getting closer and closer, Betty couldn't help but curse in silence. They are a bunch of damn scoundrels. If it weren't for their numbers, with my fighting skills, I could definitely beat them until they don't even recognize their mothers. Betty was so focused on running away that she didn't notice me watching the scene ahead. She accidentally bumped into me. Although I really didn't want to pay attention to her, out of classmate courtesy, I still asked if she needed help. Betty recognized me and was surprised. Wasn't Charles just driving away? But before she could think more, those hooligans immediately caught up. Then the bald man walked up, pointed at Betty, and angrily scolded. Keep on running. Today, I will show you what cruelty really means. Upon hearing this, Betty's face darkened. Men are truly not good people. Especially this Charles. If it weren't for him suddenly appearing, I would have left long ago. He really is a guy who can only add to troubles, but not solve any. I walked up to the group of men and said slowly, Guys, that's about enough. A group of men bullying a weak woman. Do you still have any face left? I'll give you 2.5 minutes to leave immediately. Upon hearing this, the bald man walked up arrogantly and said, You still want to play the hero and save the damsel in distress. Have you bothered to find out who I am in the underworld? However, 2.5 minutes later, the bald man and his gang were all taken down by me. After all, following several enhancements to my physical attributes, how could these few hooligans possibly be my opponents? Then I turned my head and looked at Betty beside me. Are you okay? Little did I know, I had just opened my mouth. Betty's affinity for me dropped by another 5 points. And her affinity towards me now reached -95. Seeing this situation, I immediately felt like I was going to spit blood from petrification. What do you mean, Betty? Who are you giving that stinky face to? I risked my life to rescue the school belle from the thugs. In the end, the school belle not only did not appreciate it, but instead scolded me as scum. Cynthia is willing to give up even the position of the student union president for you. Yet, you are here trying to play the hero and woo me. You just make me feel disgusted. It was just earlier when I knocked over 300 hooligans to save Betty. I thought at least this way, it would make her affinity towards me increase a bit. Little did I know, she put on a disgruntled look instead. And my affinity with her plummeted to an all-time low. Seeing this situation, I was completely frustrated. Big sister, I helped you without expecting my affinity to increase. How did it even decrease? I now have a -95 affinity with you. In your eyes, am I any different from a piece of poop? Looking at the mess all over the floor, the thugs are scattered everywhere. Betty, however, remains indifferent. Charles, do you think it's funny to act like this? You don't really think that I'm as easily fooled as other little girls, do you? She pointed to the thug lying on the ground as she spoke. I can just wait for a car to come by here and encounter a bunch of garbage. And you happen to appear just in time to play the role of a hero saving a beauty. Betty then walked up to me in high heels. Charles, you are either overestimating your intelligence or underestimating mine. Betty grew angrier as she spoke, and immediately grabbed my collar. Cynthia is willing to give up even the position of the student union president for you. Yet, you're here scheming to hit on me. Charles, just forget about it. Scumbags like you only disgust me. I watched Betty turn and leave. I should have just stood by and watched instead of meddling. This sister's imagination is larger than a black hole. And she also has a serious persecution complex. She thinks every man has ulterior motives against her. But how can I tolerate others? They are tarnishing my noble character. So I immediately stopped Betty and said, Senior sister, listen to my defense. Senior sister, listen to my explanation. But Betty didn't give me a chance to explain at all. Don't waste too much time explaining. Hope you take care of Cynthia yourself and treat her well. If you play any tricks, I will deal with you. I stood still, watching Betty walk away. She's such a self-righteous woman. Just then, the bald man I had knocked down regained consciousness. But the next second, a size 48 foot kicked him in the face. And I roared, "Unknown_0, you stinky woman. If I have to take action again the next time I encounter such a thing." I turned around indignantly and left, feeling like I had just stepped on something. 2.5 hours later, I returned to the school gate. But I was full of anger. So annoying. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I felt humiliated by her. Just then, my phone suddenly rang. I was surprised when I saw the caller ID. It was actually a call from White Moonlight Anna. What's the matter with her calling me so late at night? I only heard Anna's gentle voice on the phone. "Charles, are you free tomorrow? I don't have classes tomorrow, and I'd like to invite you to watch a movie." Upon hearing this, I immediately broke out in a cold sweat. What an unfortunate coincidence. Cynthia also invited me to watch a movie tomorrow. What should I do? Before I could think of a solution, Anna bashfully said, "This is the first time I've asked someone to watch a movie with me. You can't refuse me." Upon hearing this, my expression immediately darkened. In that case, let the capable handle it. On the same day is the same day. At most, we can have one session in the morning and one session in the afternoon. The beauty sneakily sat in my Ferrari. She even pretended to board the wrong car just to get to know me. But she was refused by me, claiming that I didn't have a phone. Hearing this, the beautiful woman angrily got off the car. But she ran into my good buddy head-on. "Kimberly, didn't you say you were going to the hospital to accompany your mother? How come you're in my brother's car?" "It just happened a moment ago. The school bell and my crush both invited me to watch a movie tomorrow." Smart me immediately decided to make the most of the situation. I chose to watch a movie in the morning with one and the afternoon with the other. But just at this moment, my good buddy Walter came to me in tears. He told me that he was rejected by the girl he asked out to watch a movie tomorrow. The tickets have already been purchased. Can you accompany me to watch it instead? Upon hearing this, I couldn't help but feel a headache coming on. It seems that plans can't keep up with changes. I thought watching 2 movies tomorrow would be enough, but who knew it would turn into 3 movies. So the next morning, bright and early, I drove to the school gate to wait for my good friend. As a result, this guy was even more unreliable than a woman. I ended up waiting for 2.5 hours without seeing any sign of him. But there's nothing I can do about it. After all, he is my good buddy. When I had no food in the past, he was the one who helped me out. Now that I have become successful, I naturally cannot treat my good buddy unfairly. And I have also arranged the time for watching movies properly. Watch the 2 o'clock screening with your good buddy. Watch with Cynthia at 5 in the afternoon. Finally, watch with Anna at 8 in the evening. As long as the schedule is reasonable, even if you watch several movies in one day, you won't be afraid at all. Just as I was lost in thought, a strange noise came from the passenger seat. Upon hearing the sound, I immediately said, "You are such a coward. What took you so long?" Little did I know that a girl who looked 6 out of 10 in appearance sat in the passenger seat. She immediately started applying makeup on herself as soon as she got in the car. She seemed to notice my gaze. The girl looked at me with a smile and said, "I got so engrossed in my makeup that I got on the wrong car." Upon hearing that, I remained calm. "You should get off at the next stop. Just be more careful next time," I replied. The girl was surprised to hear this. "There's actually someone who can resist my charm. Driving a luxury car and looking so handsome. How could I let you go?" she said coquettishly. "Even though they say I got on the wrong car, maybe I've actually met the right person." She then immediately sent a friend request. "Brother, can you add me as a friend? I feel like we really hit it off." I didn't even bother to lift my head at her words. I don't have a phone. I've met many women like you. We Sigma men never fall into the trap of women. The girl saw my indifferent attitude and immediately got off the car in anger. But he bumped into my good friend Walter head-on. "Kimberly, Didn't you say you were going to the hospital to accompany Mom? How come you're in my brother's car? Seeing this situation, I secretly thought it was not good. Could it be that this woman refused my good brother's movie invitation? Think about this. Listen to my explanation. Things are not as you see them. But Walter's face was full of anger. I know you are complete strangers with no connection at all, he said, pointing with a big hand. Kimberly, you see my brother driving a Ferrari. So, you wanted to hook up with him. As a result, my brother was not interested and asked you to get out of the car. You two have no relationship at all. It's totally you clinging to my brother stubbornly. Am I right? Upon hearing this, I nodded more than 200 times in agreement. He truly is my good brother. Later, I got into the Ferrari with my good brother. We left under Kimberly's shocked gaze. Walter is a loser who only has a monthly allowance of $800. How could he have such wealthy friends? The man flirted with my school's beauty queen girlfriend in front of me. But I wasn't angry. Instead, I taught him how to pursue a girl step by step. I then showed off my flirting skills in front of him. Miss, you are really beautiful. Can we find a place with no one around to have a deep conversation? Seeing this situation, the man looked disdainful. This is how you can get a girl. I'll take my head off and use it as a basketball for you. But the next second, he was slapped in the face on the spot. The beautiful woman agreed without hesitation. It happened just now. I brought my good buddy to the agreed-upon movie theater. Little did we know, the movie had just started. The good friend burst into tears immediately. Why can you always date top-tier beauties, while my relationships never work out? Is it really because I'm too poor? Upon hearing this, I smiled triumphantly. Looks like you've asked the right person. In the realm of relationships, the one who reveals their need for love quickly often ends up at a disadvantage. The more aggressively you pursue, the more the other person may see you as cheap. The key to pursuing a girl is not about tactics, but about whether you are strong within yourself. The two girls behind us started to laugh maliciously when they saw us whispering to each other. It's really strange for two men to come to watch a movie. Could it be that they have that kind of relationship? At this point, I put on the appearance of a love expert. Brother, let me tell you. Money is meant to be shown to women, not to be spent on them. The more you spend on her, the more she will see you as a dog. When Walter heard this, he looked as if he had suddenly become enlightened. Listening to what you just said, I feel like it makes so much sense. He then grabbed my hand and said, Please teach me how to become stronger. Upon hearing this, I immediately became cocky. There's nothing much I can teach you. I'm just a little bit more handsome than you. A little bit richer than you. Have a few more girlfriends than you. Actually, it's very hard for me to manage so many things every day. Regular guys like you wouldn't understand at all. Upon hearing this, Walter's veins bulged immediately. I want you to teach me how to pick up girls, not to listen to you show off. After my 2.5 hours of explanation, Walter finally saw the light. Charles, thank you. If there is a chance in the future, I will definitely repay you well. Upon hearing this, I immediately grabbed his hand. Now you have the chance. Just give me a call in 2.5 hours. Just at that moment, the two girls from the movie theater happened to pass by. They must be a couple. I am also too lazy to explain further about this. As long as my good buddy calls me in time, I can break away and rush to the next movie screening. I quickly rushed to the movie theater where I had arranged to meet Cynthia. I breathed a sigh of relief when I saw her looking around at the entrance of the movie theater. I almost missed her. Cynthia, on the other hand, was looking at her watch and muttering to herself. The movie is starting in half an hour. Why hasn't Charles arrived yet? Just as she was worrying, a voice came from behind. Just then, a brown-haired man came up to Cynthia and said, Miss, I have been watching you for a long time. Can I add you as a friend? Upon hearing this, Cynthia replied apologetically, I'm sorry. I already have plans. The brown-haired man, however, was persistent. I just want to get to know you. If you find me annoying, you can delete me. Just consider it fulfilling my wish to meet a beautiful woman. Just as the brown-haired man finished speaking, a big hand landed on his shoulder. Everyone has rejected you. There's no need to be persistent here. Let me teach you how to approach girls. As she was speaking, I slid my hand behind Cynthia and pinned her against the wall. Miss, you are really beautiful. Can we find a private place to have a deep conversation? Seeing this situation, the brown-haired man looked disdainful. Can you seduce girls like this? I'll take my head off and use it as a basketball for you. But the next second, the brown-haired man was slapped right in the face. Cynthia didn't even hesitate and immediately agreed. The brown-haired man and passers-by who saw this scene all had a look of disbelief on their faces. The campus beauty asked me to watch a movie, but I was busy playing on my phone the whole time. Because just 2.5 hours ago, I watched with my good buddies. And next, I have to watch it again with my lover. I thought the school beauty would be angry because of this. But she looked at me with tears in her eyes. Charles, you are so busy yet you still take the time to be with me. You are really amazing. At the IMAX cinema right now, the exciting scene of the male lead kicking a nuclear bomb is being shown. But facing such an exciting scene, Cynthia's face is unhappy with pursed lips. Charles, you have always been interested in this movie, haven't you? But I see you've been playing with your phone since the movie started. Upon hearing this, I was startled. I dare not tell her that I have just watched this movie. I know every detail, even how many nose hairs the male lead has. So I immediately made up an excuse. I said that the family business has been keeping me very busy lately, giving me a headache to deal with. Upon hearing my explanation, Cynthia immediately felt sorry for me. Charles has such a large family business to inherit, the pressure must be immense. Cynthia then started imagining again. As ordinary people, we can live carefree lives, but he has to bear so much. Others can only see Charles's superb skills, but they don't know how many tears he has shed behind that. Descendants from prominent families, like Charles, must have learned a wide range of skills from an early age. From playing musical instruments to painting and calligraphy, and from singing and dancing to rapping, if it were an ordinary person, they would have given up long ago. But Charles has never complained to anyone. He silently shoulders the mission of his family. As she thought about it, Cynthia shed tears of regret. I am such a bad woman. Charles is already working so hard, yet I still selfishly take up his precious time to watch a movie with me. I am really so bad. Cynthia became more and more excited as she thought about it. She immediately grabbed my hand. I was startled by this sudden touch. How did she suddenly reach out and grab my hand? But when I turned my head, I saw Cynthia looking at me with teary eyes. This left me completely shocked. This is an action movie, not a romance movie. Why are you so moved by it? The time watching the movie passed quickly. Cynthia asked kindly. Charles, it's already late. Are you hungry? Shall we find a place to eat? I dared not agree when I heard her words. I still have another movie to watch. Just as I was about to come up with an excuse to brush her off, my phone suddenly rang. When I saw that it was Walter calling, a slight smile crept onto my face. He truly is my good brother. The timing of this call is just spot on. So I answered the phone call and calmly asked, What's the matter calling me? But before he could reply, I immediately shouted, You've been hit by a car. Don't worry. I'll head over right now. Upon hearing that, Walter on the other end of the phone looked extremely speechless. I was perfectly fine, and then I had a car accident. And I looked apologetically at Cynthia. My good buddy is in a big trouble. I have to go check on him first. Cynthia smiled understandingly. If you have something to do, go and take care of it quickly. Watching my back as I turned and walked away, Cynthia was deeply moved. He is indeed a man with both affection and righteousness. And as soon as I sat in the Ferrari, I immediately took out my phone. There was still time to rush to the next movie. I am really a clever person. The white moonlight that I have liked for 10 years. Finally, she let me move into her house. But just as I was taking a shower, she found 4 movie tickets in my pocket. Bai Guang, who saw this scene, was shaking with anger. Did he also go to the movies with other girls? It turns out it was just now, after watching the second movie with the school belle Cynthia. I immediately rushed to the residential area where Bai Guang is located. Anna sent me a message asking me to wait for her for 2.5 minutes. I rubbed my tired nose and finally, there was only one movie left to watch. This day was more exhausting than fighting a war. I will never play this kind of multitasking game again in the future. Just as I was lost in thought, Anna's sweet voice came from behind me. Charles. I'm sorry. You must have been waiting for a long time. Seeing her in a casual outfit. She truly lives up to being the moonlight in the eyes of all the high school boys. Whether as a domineering female president or a casual student, she can easily handle various styles of clothing. Even though we have only met a few times during this period, every time I see her, I still have a sudden feeling of heart palpitations. At this moment, Anna sweetly smiles. What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and let's go. The movie is about to start. At these words, I immediately came to my senses. That's right. I still have to handle business. If today's date goes smoothly, perhaps my relationship with Anna can progress further. Later, I watched the same movie with Anna again. And what's different from the previous 2 times? Is this what love feels like? I took Anna to a nearby barbecue restaurant. We chatted about high school anecdotes while eating barbecue. Unknowingly, time had already reached midnight. Watching the sky getting darker, I drove Anna back to the entrance of her residential area once again. At this moment, Anna's face blushed slightly as she said, Thank you for playing with me for so long. I had a great time tonight. It's getting late. You should head back and rest early. But just as Anna turned to leave, I reached out and stopped her. I'm a little thirsty. Can I go to your house for a drink of water? Upon hearing this, Anna immediately froze in place. She had never brought a boy home before. However, she did not refuse. And after coming to Anna's house and finishing the water, I mentioned that it was already too late. Let's stay overnight here tonight. What surprised me was that Anna actually agreed to it. Upon hearing this, I didn't say another word and went straight to the bathroom to take a shower, leaving Anna alone in the hall lost in thought. Anna felt extremely embarrassed at the thought of actually leaving a man overnight at home. What should I do if Charles makes such a request later? But if it's him, it seems not impossible. Next second, Anna then buried her head in the cushion. What are you thinking? Just as Anna was lost in thought, my several bills in my pocket caught her attention. But when she saw that the bills were actually 4 movie tickets, she froze in place. How come there are so many movie tickets? Could he have gone to the movies with another girl as well?